The Canadian Super Visa allows parents and grandparents of Canadian citizens or permanent residents to visit and stay in Canada for up to 2 years at a time, without the need to renew their status. Unlike a regular visitor visa, which typically allows a 6-month stay, the Super Visa is a multiple-entry visa valid for up to 10 years. This guide will walk you through the eligibility criteria, application process, and required documents for obtaining a Super Visa. Before we dive into the details, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to help spread this important information. By doing so, you'll help others learn about how to bring their parents and grandparents to Canada for extended visits. 1. Eligibility criteria for the Super Visa. To be eligible for a Super Visa, both the applicant, the parent or grandparent, and the inviter, the child or grandchild, must meet specific criteria. A. Eligibility for the parent-grandparent, applicant. Must be the parent or grandparent of a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. Must be considered admissible to Canada based on health and security checks. Must undergo a medical examination if required. Must prove that they intend to leave Canada at the end of their visit. B. Eligibility for the child-grandchild, inviter. Must be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. Must provide a letter of invitation outlining their commitment to financially support the parent or grandparent during their stay. Must meet the minimum income requirement as specified by the Canadian government, which is based on the Low Income Cutoff, LICO. 2. Required documents. The application for a Super Visa requires several supporting documents to prove eligibility and meet the Canadian immigration standards. A. From the parent, child, grandparent, applicant. Valid passport. Ensure that the passport is valid for the duration of the intended stay in Canada. Proof of relationship. Documents proving the parent-child or grandparent-grandchild relationship, such as a birth certificate or family record. Medical insurance. Proof of Canadian medical insurance from a recognized insurance company with a minimum coverage of $100,000 for healthcare, hospitalization, and repatriation. The insurance must be valid for at least 1 year. Proof of medical examination. Depending on the circumstances, a medical exam may be required to ensure the applicant meets Canada's health standards. From the child-grandchild, inviter, letter of invitation. This letter must include the inviter's address, contact information, and a promise of financial support during the parent-grandparent stay in Canada. Proof of income. The inviter must provide documentation showing they meet the minimum income requirement. Acceptable documents include Notice of Assessment, NOA, or T4/T1 for the most recent tax year. Employment insurance stubs. Employment letters specifying salary and position. Pay stubs and bank statements. C. Additional supporting documents. Proof of ties to home country. Documents showing that the applicant has strong ties to their home country, such as property ownership, employment contracts, or other family members. Travel history. Previous travel records, visas, or proof of prior trips to Canada, if applicable. Third, application process. The process of applying for a Super Visa involves several steps. It is essential to carefully follow these steps to avoid delays or a potential rejection of your application. Step 1. Gather the required documents. Collect all the documents mentioned above, ensuring they are complete and accurate. Double-check that your medical insurance meets the minimum requirements and that your letter of invitation includes all the necessary details. Step 2. Submit the application online or on paper. You can apply for the Super Visa online or through a paper-based application. Online applications are generally processed more quickly, but paper applications are available for those who prefer them. Visit the official IRCC website to start the application process online. Follow the instructions carefully and upload all the required documents. Pay the application fee, which is approximately 100 Canadian dollars for a single applicant, plus any biometric fees if applicable. Step 3. Complete biometrics, if required. As part of the application, the parent or grandparent may be required to provide biometric information, fingerprints, and photo. If so, Visit an approved biometric collection location after receiving a request from IRCC. Step 4. Undergo a medical examination if required. If the Canadian government requests a medical examination, the applicant must complete it with a panel physician approved by the Canadian government. This step is essential to determine the applicant's admissibility based on health grounds. Step 5. Wait for processing. After submitting your application, you will need to wait for the processing time, which typically takes between 8 to 12 weeks, but can vary depending on the country of residence and the specific visa office. Keep track of the status of your application online. Step 6. Receive the super visa. Once approved, the applicant will receive a multiple entry super visa. This visa allows entry into Canada for up to 10 years and permits stays of up to 2 years at a time without renewing status. 4. Minimum income requirement. The child or grandchild inviting their parent or grandparent must meet a specific minimum income level, determined by the Low Income Cutoff, LICO. This threshold is updated annually and varies based on the size of the inviter's household. For example, as of 2024, the LICO requirements are approximately 1 person, 26,620 Canadian dollars; 2 persons, 33,140 Canadian dollars; 3 persons, 40,742 Canadian dollars; 4 persons, 49,466 Canadian dollars. Be sure to check the latest LICO figures before applying. 5. Extending your stay on a super visa. One of the benefits of the super visa is that it allows parents and grandparents to stay in Canada for up to 2 years at a time without the need for renewal. However, if they wish to extend their stay beyond the 2 years, they can apply for an extension by submitting an application to extend their visitor status at least 30 days before their current status expires. Obtaining a Canadian super visa for parents and grandparents is a great way to reunite with family members while allowing them to stay in Canada for extended periods. With proper planning, documentation, and a clear understanding of the application process, you can successfully bring your loved ones to Canada for up to 10 years of multiple visits. If this guide was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who may be interested in applying for a super visa. By sharing this information, you can help other families reunite in Canada for longer stays.